Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I did an English video, so I'm not sure how it's gonna happen. No, it's gonna happen, but how I'm gonna do it. But as I always said in this English video, I'm doing video in English just for books that are published in English and they have no translation in Italian right now, and they are not supposed to have for a long time. I don't know what's gonna happen. The first book I actually reviewed was They Both Die at the End in English, and they are doing an Italian version, so I'm quite excited about that because I hope a lot of people will read it when it comes to Italy. But with no further waiting, I'm gonna talk to you today of Fire and Star by, I just forgot the author, Audrey Coulthurst. I hope it's Coulthurst, but I'm not sure. I want to say something about the cover. Actually, I think usually books in the American version of books that I bought are usually cheaper than the Italian one, but the cover are so not like prepared for me because I'm really bad with book. I just bring them everywhere. I just put them in the most difficult situation ever, which mean that this book here seems quite normal, but here you can see it's becoming white, and here these are all dots that I created by taking this book from a bag to another, from a travel to another. It really suffered as a book, but you know, I think that it come with the cheapest price, so it's okay. If you are good and not destroying the book you bought, you're gonna be good. But let's go to the book. Of Fire and Stars, it's my first story in English that I read, and of the few stories that I read which talk about two female characters that fall in love. One other book that I read was Carol by Patricia Highsmith, but it was a long time ago, and this was suggested by Lego Scattoviaggio, which is another channel, YouTube channel that I follow and I love. I will put the link here because I really like him, and I actually finished this one, and I realized there was another novel set in the same place, which is Ink Mistress, and on August the 13th it's gonna come out another book, the third one, no, not the third one, but it's the sequel of this one. Ink Mistress is another story completely, and while of I don't remember, it's like of Highs and Shadow, it's gonna be the sequel of this one, which have the same character. But let's go to the book. This book talks about two main characters, and at the beginning about Denalia, I'm pronouncing it wrong, Denalia, which is princess to a country, because at the beginning we have a map of the country. There are 4 countries in this fantasy world, which are, I'm reading them, Havemont on the north, Minaria on the, I think it's the west, Zumorda on the east, and Sonneborn on the south. Denalia comes from the north, and she is betrothed, which means she is supposed to marry the prince of Minaria from birth. Like when she was born, she was already married, proposed to this guy, and it's of course a marriage that is created to create an alliance with the Minaria country. So basically, she spent all her life getting prepared to marry this guy, which is Tandy. I don't remember his full name, but Tandy. And when the time comes, she is sent there to marry him. But we realize pretty soon that she is somehow magical. In this world, in fact, they worship these 6 gods, which are gods of elements, natural elements, which are earth, fire, water, all of them. But a lot of people actually have affinities to natural elements, which brought them to use magic. And then I realized when she's really little that she has an affinity for fire, and this is something that is really a problem, because as they respect and worship the gods, they think that magic users are bad or are not supposed to be in the country, which meant that some countries are more open to them, like they accept them, even if they don't want them in their religion, they still accept the magic user to go in their country. Others instead are not so open to the situation, and apparently when she arrived to the Minaria, she realized, I'm so bad with name, I'm so sorry, Minaria, she realized that Zumorda it's apparently fighting with Minaria, because in Zumorda there are a lot of magic users which are sent away or being killed by the rebel, or I don't remember the name, but basically the one who really believe magic users are not supposed to be in the Minaria country. Which means she is having a problem, a political problem, because she cannot tell anyone, of course, that she's a magic user, but that is her mother set her this to when she was really little, and she basically has to find her place in a country where problems are rising a lot. And in this place, meanwhile, she met Tandy, which is her future husband, and her sister Amarantine, which everyone calls Mare. Mare is basically the rebel kid, the one that's only is concerned about you know, horses and the care of the horses, but we realized pretty soon that only care about the horses is what their father and brothers think of her. She actually is really interested in what is happening in the country, and she spent a lot of time going around to understand what is happening, to help her kingdom to not being destroyed, basically. And so she has this old situation in which she has to teach to Denna how to ride horses, war horse, because they are quite famous in Minaria. And while working with her, she's realized how smart Denna actually is and how useful she could be to the country if she was listened to, which she is basically not so much. And well, I'm not saying to use so much more because I already tell you a lot, but basically that's the story. So if we have 2 lines, one is the relationship between Mare and then. Okay, I had to change camera because apparently I didn't charge my battery, so I changed the camera, but let's go on. So the other side is the political side, because they have a problem to find who is actually their ally, who is actually conspiring against them, Minaria country, kingdom, and toward which one of the country go to war, or basically if it makes sense to go make war with Zumorda, which is a thing that makes this book really great, in my opinion, because there's a lot of situation in which I truly believed at the very beginning that it was just supposed, and it was gonna be just a love story between these two. While for the very first, I would say like 150 pages, they are starting to know each other, but their relationship is really subsided by the situation, the political situation in the country, which is really great in my opinion, because it's really give to the reader the idea of being in the country and to work with them. and is also well written, but that we will talk about it in a moment. It gives you the idea of being there, and it really doesn't focus just on the love story, which means that before being in love with each other, they are just person. They are just two great female character, which is one born as and created as a princess who lived all their life as a girl who wanted to be useful for a country who she was gonna be shipped to, which is Minaria, and I'm speaking about that now. So she tried to work really hard for it, try to learn a lot and read a lot, just to be ready to help the kingdom. And on the other side there is Mare, that is really trying to find her place in a world where she cannot accept to be sold or to be married to someone just to put on a lie. She wanted to be useful for a country, for what she's good at, and really be good, not just because she married someone and she do a royal life. That's what is really good about the book generally, I think, about what is the representation of the two main characters. Another thing that I like a lot is the language. The language is more complicated. I had a little difficult at the beginning just because it was a long time since I last read a full book in English, so I wasn't ready. It got really difficult at the beginning, also because it was this medieval word, and all the words that were used were really in the medieval fields, which meant the way the costumes, the habits of the character, also the dresses, the rooms, were all designed and created using, of course, medieval words and creating a medieval word, which meant that I'm not so used to read about medieval word in English, and there were a lot of words that at the very beginning I couldn't understand. But other than that, the reading was really easy to go, and the conversation between the character were easy to go. Oh, there was also, I think I thought about it when I read Song of Achilles, because like that one too, it was about wars, so about, you know, weaponry and weapons, and all about war, which meant that there were a lot of words that are not common in my everyday language. So I needed in that time to look for a lot of words, and I needed to look for some words here too. The words here were less in respect on the Song of Achilles, because Song of Achilles were more based on ancient Roman history and story, so it was more complicated to understand. And this camera is low with battery too, I'm gonna die. I get continuously distracted by the fact that I didn't charge any of my battery apparently, so they are all low in battery, and they are stopping, and I'm doing so many stops, which means that I just forgot what I did lastly. What I said lastly. The language is, in fact, as I told you, you have to start with it. Like you have to get used to it, and the more you get used to it, the easier it is to go on. Also about the weapons, as I was saying, there are some part in which you understand that what it's talking about is a weapon, and maybe you can go farther, maybe understand it with whether it's a bow or is a sword. But if you want to know exactly what they're talking about, you have to look for it. So it's a different way to understand, in a way, meaning that you have to decide if you want to know exactly what it means, or just going around knowing that it's a sword and it's okay, it's a sword. And they are talking about many particular stuff, so in some point it is a little difficult as language, but I wouldn't say it's the most difficult book in English that I've ever read. I think it is easier than We Are the Ants. We Are the Ants, and it's a bit easier in the way it is described, but it's a little more difficult than both the idea and example, which is basically now my way to give a scale of difficulty. Let's go to my review and my opinion. I really liked it. I think it's really well made. I think the story is really well constructed. The only thing that I would say it's a little rushed, I think it's the ending, meaning that when you arrive, I think 40 pages from the end, you're just wondering how it's gonna end so quickly, and it actually ended, but it could have ended a little more easier, not so quickly. Like, it's all rushed at the end, which it doesn't have to be a negative opinion, like it doesn't have to be a bad thing that it ended so quickly, also because it really I want to say it really have to be quick. The end is really becoming quicker because things are rushing or they're gonna be bad, so they all run to make it better. But I don't know, I always feel like when there's a hand so quick that maybe it is rushed, but it's good. On the other side, it's really good. It's really well handed, and I can't wait to read the other book, the sequel, about the story. I think the characters are well portrayed, but I think the author really focused on the two main characters, Dana and Mare, to give them the biggest view and the more full characterization, but for the other character a little less maybe. There are other characters like Tandy and Niels and other characters that I felt like were good, but I didn't fall in love with them because they were not so described. They were just, you know, when you give like a little box of information, which is basically two information for each of them, if they are funny or not, if they are charming or not, if they are smart or not, and you give just that and you give it to the people and people read it. I think for Dana and Mare there's a all complete description of them and development of their characters, while for the other they just are little boxes explained for the story. I cannot say if I liked it or not. I think I didn't fall in love with the character, which is something that I don't really appreciate. I really like to fall in love with the character, but it also gave me the time to really focus on the main two characters, Dana and Mare. So it really depends on what you like. If you want a full story and full background of all the characters, or you just want the story to follow the main characters. So it's mostly up to you. There's another character actually, and this is for GOT fans, which is Game of Thrones fans. There's this character which is Casmiel, I think it is called, which for me, now I can't remember his name, but is the helper, the right arm, how you say that, I don't know, but of Stannis, and who was friend, I'm gonna put here a picture so you will understand, who is friend with the little girl, the Stannis' daughter. I felt like when I read about Casmiel, I really felt like I was picturing him in my head because they were really similar as person. Not so similar, but you know, you will understand if you read the book and you have watched Game of Thrones, I think. And well, I really like him, but generally I think the characters were good. I didn't fall in love with them, but on the other side I knew they were good character and they were well positioned in the situation. I don't even know how much I talked and if I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. The love story, I liked it. I also like the importance that was given to choice and freedom, how usually, and also to education, I think. I mean, what is really stressed here, above all from Mare, is that Dan is really smart. She has been taught a lot of stuff during her childhood, that she read a lot, so she knows stuff. And what is bad for her is that she's not really considered as someone who is worth asking opinion to. And she's just the princess, which is gonna be the queen, which need to have poetry reading and choose dressing and have tea party, which is useless because if you are up to go on a war, maybe you have to take all the advice people are going to give you. And also the idea here is the magic and the religion, which is how sometimes we are so straight-minded about something and we are so keen to, ready to give the fault to someone, even if we have no proof, just because it's easier. They are the target, they are the easy target, they are probably the one to blame, so we're just gonna blame them without any real proof. And there's a line that I really liked here, which was that when you start a war, the reason why you started it doesn't matter anymore, because it's a lot of war if we think about it. They start for a reason, but actually the reason is not so important in the war itself. When you start a war, you just keep going to the war till someone wins. But the reason for the war itself, it's not the main important thing. And here is said that you can start a war and with basically no reason, or with a reason that is so weak that it should be stupid to start a war about it. But it's really important. And again, the idea of religion and how when something overpowers someone, let's say religion, some religions overpower some other religion, we are just so ready to put this religion to as an heresy, which should be persecuted and destroyed to the ground, and how that affects the politics and the dynamics of a society in which something has always lived near, like shoulder by shoulder, we say that, I don't know if in English that's work, but like near, close. And so it's really good. I think what I really liked about this book, and I'm gonna hand here, it's that it's really balanced between the politics and the social dynamics, religion. I'm putting all together: religion, politics, royal situation, and the relationship between Dana and Mare. Because what I feared when I bought the book was that I was gonna read just love story set in this, it's just when you put the story, the place, the fantasy world as just as a scenography for your story. And so you put just that there and you write your love story there, but you didn't put anything else that make the story more realistic. And here it's really realistic because it's put in a world that is already on a crisis and they are fighting for something while they are growing love for each other. So to handle all this long review, I don't think it's so long, but I think it's long. I don't know, but my battery is going down. And Of Fire and Star is a book that I really liked. If you want something that is both social, engaged, and has a love story, above all if you want a love story between two women, which is something I have difficult to find usually, this is a book I really recommend. The price is it says $10, which I think it's like €9 or something, and I'm really bad at reading which is the published industry, which I think it's Bother and Bray, and I really liked it, so I hope you will think about buying it if you want to read something in English, if you want to give a shot to the story. If you have read it and if you want to say me something about it, just write me down below, and make sure you check my other videos in English, which I'm putting down below too, because I don't think I can put them there. It's already been too long since I did them, and I can put video here, just they are like 6 months ago, I don't know. But anyway, I will put here in the link the other English review that I did, and I suggest you to go and look for the book and check if you like the story. If I just interested you, maybe the story will please you, so just check it. And thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, I give you my little rules as always, so make sure to subscribe to my Instagram account, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel right here, and put a like here, a thumb ups here on my video. I hope I will do others video in English. I think I have another trilogy which I'm probably reading in English because there is no translation in Italian, and there's another book that I'm for sure reading in English, but I think I will review in Italian because there are some translation in Italian and I'm not showing you, but they are right there watching me. So make sure to keep updated to all my channel and all the stuff I'm doing, and I can't wait to see you guys again. So have a nice day. Bye!